Oh, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Wanted to start getting back into the swing of things, making some videos. As we've finally settled down from fall season, there'll be some videos going forward on that. But right now, we're talking about Michigan basketball, hottest team in the country. Last night, I'm recording this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening actually. So happy Ash Wednesday to all those that celebrate. And we Michigan basketball, that is, beat Purdue last night on the road as a 2-point favorite by 11, easily covering the over. Jax Lenenberg, 13 with 7 assists. He had Merez had 12 points, 11 boards. Mara had 10 points, 11 boards. Cadeau, 17 points, 3 big threes. 7 assists, 4 rebounds, no fouls. Burnett, 5 points. He had a big corner 3 when we needed it a lot. 2 assists, 3 boards. Kaysen, 13 off the bench, was 100% from the field. Roddy Gale, 2 of 5 with a 3. Some bad turnovers, but I love my guy Roddy. Will Cheddar didn't really play a ton at only 7 minutes, lowest in the game, but he had a huge corner 3 when needed the most. And Trey McKinney, 3 for 4 from 3, 13 points. I think there was a stat that they put up on the screen where it was he had 10 plus points in like 18 games this year. For a freshman, that's crazy, especially a true freshman. Comparing that to Purdue's bench, they only had like 10 points. But for Purdue, it all matters is Braden Smith had 20 second half points, a lot from the free throw line, but half of them. But it is what it is. Trey Kaufman ran 27 points on 12 of 16 shooting. 12 of 26 shooting, with 12 boards. He had a really funny moment where he, like, the middle of the basketball game, up 14 Michigan, and he's like, "This my shit. That's my shit." The point of the thing. It's like interesting. This place used to be a house of horrors, but Purdue falls to 21-5. They're number 7. Michigan is now 25-1. They have defeated all, I think it said top 50 opponents they've faced on the road by more than 10 points. And the crazy stat that people keep talking about is if you got rid of the single-digit wins by Michigan, they'd still be first place in the Big Ten. Speaking of the Big Ten, tonight is a game for the Illinois Fighting Illini. But if you look at the Big Ten, I have football pulled up. Sorry. If you look at the Big Ten for basketball, it's a very tight race in the middle, but up top, it's only 2 teams you're worried about. It's Michigan and Illinois. Purdue basically got eliminated last night. Illinois is 25-3. Michigan is 15-1. So, I mean, barring a miracle win by Eric Musselman tonight, it'll be 13-3 Illinois. 2 games back with the teams playing. So Michigan could lose to Illinois and win out. But that being said, Michigan's got a tough road ahead of them. I'll ignore the big game this weekend. They play at Minnesota, home against Illinois, at Iowa, and home against Michigan State. I don't need to tell you how tricky that schedule is. But, you beat Illinois, you all but essentially win the Big Ten, and you could hang the banner at home against Michigan State, which would be pretty fun to do. In between all of that, Michigan plays Duke in the Edward Jones Capital Showcase in Washington, D.C. 24-1 Michigan, 25-1 Michigan versus 24-2 Duke, number 1 versus number 3. Did Arizona lose the other day? Is Houston number 2 right now? Sorry, I didn't see this, but I know this is bad podcasting or videoing. Yeah, Houston's number 2 and they lost. So in theory, right now, Duke's number 2. Would they jump to number 1 over Michigan if they beat them head to head? I mean, maybe not. I would say they should because, if you beat head to head, got to do it. But, this is a bit of a fun game. I remember way back in the day, everyone's like, this game's going to be interesting. Maybe Michigan can pull a shock one off against Duke. No, I don't really think many people thought that they'd be this good. But I know I haven't talked about Michigan basketball a ton on this channel. I'm talking about a ton in real life, and it's like, hey, might as well get it out on the channel because it's going to look like my bandwagon. But I've been going to these games for a long time. I went to the only loss this year I went to 2 games, and I went to that one. I also went to at Michigan State this year. Let me see if I can find the towel. My war crime, my prized possession here now. Got this when Michigan not upset, but no, we were favorites. Michigan beat Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans on the road on that Friday night, last day of September, or last day of January, I believe. No, it was 30th. So, but yeah, Michigan's got a big stretch coming up. Duke is a big game. It's a good measuring stick for the rest of the country. I think it's a bigger game for Duke in terms of measuring where they're at. Michigan, I think, sneaky. only really can lose from this situation, which I know it's probably a loser way to think about it, but these are the games that you can rely on and get going for March. I hate coming in with big win streaks. My mom, big Villanova fan, Michigan fan as well. She always is like, when the Villanovas made their runs, she's like, you need a loss early. Like if Michigan loses in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, that'd be fun. Well, not fun, but it'd be like, hey, good reset. Let's get healthy. Let's get going. Because the longer the win streak, I think other than like UConn a couple years ago, you don't really see these teams going these crazy win streaks, but we'll see. I mean, only one loss right now is pretty good. Hopefully we finish the year with no loss or with only one loss, but whatever. We'll get into that going forward. Just want to look at the team breakdown. Just talk about some things that I've seen this year and things that I've liked. Obviously, Yaxel Lendenberg leads the team in points. He's an unbelievable player. I'm trying to think the last time where someone has transferred to Michigan and totally embraced the culture in the way that he has. Whether it be the good gifts he's doing when he hits the dunks and he, puts the team up like that, big like Michigan bang, or like, he hits the M all the time, which is kind of a new phenomenon, sneaky. But by new, I mean like the last 20 years, because Michigan, obviously, how long in history it is, but whatever. Merez Johnson off the bench, not off the bench, he starts just down low. He's always a really important guy. He had a pretty tough game, all things considered, last game, but he's averaging 13 and 7. Yaxel didn't finish off 14-4, 7.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1 steal, 1.5 blocks, only 1 turnover on 28 minutes. Adi Mara, the next leading scorer, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, or 2.7 blocks, one of the highest in the country. Guy's an absolute issue to deal with. If he gets more body control over his huge frame, what's his exact height? I always pump up people's height. 7'3", right? So if he actually gets control over his frame a bit more, he'd be very good. He had a elbow the other day, which is bad time, but fouled out pretty quickly in the second half, all things considered with his minutes. But when he was in, he was an absolute menace. He helped get the lead out big. And when he's in there, you really can't drive on him. Elliot Cadeau, next player, he's got 10 points, 25 minutes. He's got 5.5 assists. He's had over 5 assists in like 9 or 10 games in a row, which, again, assists are very hard to come by in college. Obviously, less baskets, less scoring, and it's got to be more of a direct thing than the NBA, where you can like pass to the guy in the NBA. He can take a nap, wake up, go get some food, come back, go to the basket and score, and you get an assist. But not really so much in college. His impact on the team's been crazy. I always say I think Merez is one of the most impactful guys. I think it's Cadeau, really. We'll get into a minute about in a minute we'll talk about Cadeau and how fun he's been actually at times. But it's very important that these guys have an impact and they go and they do what they can. When you think of Cadeau, you heard a lot of bad things from him about North Carolina, his time there. He was not really used great, more of an off-ball guard. He's obviously a very ball-dominant guard. You see what he does at Michigan. And the way he's played and blossomed as a player has been incredible. I don't even know what – he's a junior. I don't think he'd go pro. He'd probably come back for another year, hopefully. But, yeah, we'll see how that goes there. Next player is a guard off the bench, 6-man, Trey McKinney, 10 points. I think he eventually might start starting. But Nabari Burnett, with his presence, he's the next guy, 9 points. Is really good. But what I was talking about is just these guards, right? Cadeau, McKinney, Burnett, Kaysen, Gale. Those are your guys that you really need to step up. And the best example, and when I really was like, this team is special, other than the early run when they beat everybody up by 100, obviously coming back against Michigan State, I thought was very important. You had some big time moments from Cadeau. McKinney is an 18-year-old freshman, made some insane plays. Merez and Yaxel just fighting on the boards. They did it again last night. That was one of the biggest things was he was able to have all the rebounds and just the defensive presence. And I think at one point you had Michigan more offensive rebounds than Purdue had defensive rebounds. It was crazy. I don't know if it finished that way, but that's what it looked like. That's what it was at a point in time. I think it was maybe even at half. But Will Cheddar, the last guy, he's really almost not I don't want to say a non-factor this year, but if the fact that he's your like break in case emergency guy, and he gets 15 minutes, 4 points, it's great to have. But what I was saying a minute ago was the thing that really impressed me about Michigan was that Northwestern game. You go down 15-20, or if I think it was 15. It doesn't look good. Elliot Cadeau is playing horrific, and he gets benched. And you're like, whoa. LJ Kaysen comes in, sophomore, I believe, right? Yeah, sophomore. He was like a 2 or 3 star if he's lucky. 3, probably a 2-star, I think, if I recall correctly. He was committed to FAU. So it wasn't like he was a really good guy at FAU and came over. This sounds like I'm talking down on Kaysen, but when you think of like guys at Michigan, it's like, oh, a 2-star recruit. What the hell's going on? Kids played obviously way better than that. He had a lot of flashes last year, but he's really starting to come onto his own now. And he was the point guard down the stretch when we went on this crazy run and came back, and he was leading the team, playing defense, doing everything great. And the best thing about it was Cadeau did not pout. He was okay with it. He even talked about it. He's like, man, it was great to see his impact off the bench, blah, 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 blah. He was doing so many things right. And you're like, this is great. And you could just see the chemistry in the team is great. Comparing quickly, I know not all of you are Pistons fans. I'm a Pistons fan, as you obviously know, through this and a lot of other things. But JB Bickerstaff is probably the worst challenger I can ever remember. This guy, Dusty May, challenges, and he gets flagrants every time. He wins his challenges almost more. When he misses a challenge, it's almost like, whoa, what's going on? But he does a really good job. I really like how he does it, and it's very impressive. So it's great. I like what I'm seeing from this team. You got some younger guys too as well. We won't worry about who's going, who's coming back. It's just the middle of the season here. This is the real stretch. This is where the big teams are made. And going on the road and beating Purdue is crazy. Michigan's averaging 90.6 a game, 90.6 points a game. Excuse me. It's a little bit of a tongue twister there. And you got Duke. You've got Minnesota. You've got Michigan State, Iowa, and Illinois. Got to beat Iowa. Got to beat Illinois. Obviously, got to beat them all. Why not win them all? So you could take a little bit of a rest. I've seen some things. Would you rest your guys against Duke? Me personally, maybe not. I understand the idea behind it. Maybe play some of the bench a bit more because you really rode on them and used them as much as you could then. But just win the game. Beating Duke's always fun. Someone was saying they hope they wear the old throwback jerseys for it. That'd be pretty good. But that's kind of all I got for now. I know it's a bit of a ramble and I'm a bit all over the place, but just wanted to get some thoughts out here and see what's going on. So thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.